On Wednesday, March 31st, Notre Dame held its Pro Day. 16 former Fighting Irish athletes were in front of NFL scouts, head coaches, GMs to show them their skills. Before we dive into today's video, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button so you can like this video. If you're not subscribed to our blueandgold.com YouTube channel, make sure you do that and go over to blueandgold.com for all of your Notre Dame coverage. Let's first take a look here at who actually did the Pro Day for Notre Dame. Quarterback Ian Book got a ton of airtime. Javon McKinley, one of three receivers for Notre Dame. Ben Skoranek was involved. Chris Fink, who graduated after the 2019 season, he was there participating in the Pro Day. A couple of Notre Dame tight ends, Tommy Tremble, who left Notre Dame after this past season, even though he had more eligibility. Brock Wright, he participated. And then, of course, Notre Dame's 4 offensive linemen who all should be drafted next month. Aaron Banks, Liam Eichenberg, Robert Hainsey, and Tommy Kramer. 3 defensive linemen, Dalen Hayes, Jameer Jones, who, like Fink, played his last ball at Notre Dame in 2019, but he showed his skills in Ade Ogundeji. Linebacker Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah, man, did he look like $1 million. And then the defensive backs, Sean Crawford and Nick McCloud, both of these Notre Dame DBs ran really well. One interesting tidbit on the NBC Sports Network broadcast was they revealed that Ian Book models his game and studies 3 guys: Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, and Baker Mayfield. And Book went into this thinking, here's Baker Mayfield's numbers. I want to beat those. That 40-yard dash really stood out. Baker Mayfield ran a 4.84 in his pro day following his Oklahoma career. There's Ian Book with a 4.59. Very impressive numbers from the former Notre Dame quarterback. As far as how Ian Book looked, thought he was up and down in his throwing portion. Certainly looked good, I thought, out of the gates, but in some of those longer throws, he missed with his receivers and tight ends, and even Kyron Williams was working out with the team as well. So up and down performance for Book. I thought his 40-yard dash numbers, though, really were impressive. That 4.59, I think, probably caught some scouts' eyes, but it'll be certainly interesting to see if Book does get drafted. If he does, I think he's a 5th or 6th round guy, maybe 7th round. Hey, maybe he doesn't even get drafted, but if he is drafted, it will be in one of those lower 3 rounds. Another takeaway on the day was the 40-yard dash time that Nick McCloud ran. Let's go ahead and watch it. That 4.37 that Nick McCloud ran will certainly catch the attention of NFL scouts. He looked great in the Hula Bowl as well. He had an interception. I believe it was actually 2 interceptions in that game. So Nick McCloud running that 4.37, shooting up the draft boards, I would imagine, and someone who might end up finding himself drafted with that combination of length and speed. He can cover those big receivers. Something that is a little controversial on the message boards that it's certainly getting a ton of talk about at blueandgold.com is what Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly had to say on the broadcast during Pro Day about Liam Eichenberg. Here is Brian Kelly's quote, and you can find this full article at blueandgold.com. It's titled Notre Dame Pro Day Numbers, Quotes, and Social Media Reaction. Kelly said, "Those who are going to draft him are going to get a plug-and-play guy on the right side. He's probably not a left tackle. If you're talking about that kind of athleticism, you could make that case that he's maybe not a left tackle. At the right tackle position, you can plug him in, and he plays right away in the NFL because of his consistency, because he's not going to be there every single day." A lot has been taken about that quote, again, on our message boards, blueandgold.com. I certainly don't take a ton into that. Like, well, should Kelly have said that? I'll let some of you guys debate that. Make sure you discuss that in the comment section here. But, look, I don't think that, Liam Eichenberg getting home from the Pro Day and seeing what Kelly had said is going to come as a shock to him. Sure, that's what he's been told, and scouts have told him, or Brian Kelly's discussed with different scouts. So I don't read a ton into that. Look, Liam Eichenberg is going to make really good money in the NFL, whether he's a left tackle or a right tackle. Yes, left tackles will make more money, but a plug-and-play guy at right tackle, that's certainly not a bad thing to hear if you're Liam Eichenberg. The NFL Network had coverage of Notre Dame's Pro Day, and their analyst, Daniel Jeremiah, spoke about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and said, "You see explosive hits game after game after game. He's so twitched up and explosive. Get him detached in space, makes plays, explosiveness coming downhill. He closes down space. He's 220 pounds and played a little bit lighter than that. So instead of taking on, he's going to try to dip and slip underneath blocks, which he does outstanding. He lines up over the number 2 receiver in the slot a bunch. He can run with the receiver, turn, find the football without question. If you get a chance to listen to him speak, you get the sense he's a linebacker leader. He's impressive." Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly spoke about Owusu-Koramoah as well and said, "You have to make a clear decision as to where he plays. It's easy with a guy like him to say, does he play linebacker? Does he play safety? If there's not a conviction on where he plays, these players get lost. If they're not in the right position, they bounce around. We made a clear decision early on he was going to play on the edge of our defense, similar to where Jalen Smith played on the edge. We felt like he could handle that. Somebody has to say, this is where we want him to play. Those that are not sure where he's going to play are going to miss on him. Those who are definitive on where they want him will get a great player." Some of the notable NFL personnel that were there inside the Notre Dame facilities: the Colts, Frank Reich and Chris Ballard, head coach and GM Jeff Ireland of the New Orleans Saints. Pittsburgh Steelers had Kevin Colbert and Mike Tomlin, and Denver's George Patton was there. Let's hear what Mike Tomlin had to say about the Notre Dame players. This video was tweeted out by the Notre Dame account.
It's a wonderful day. It's a quality program. These kids are exceptional, not only as athletes, but as young men. And so it makes for a special day. We have some personal experience here. It seems like yesterday I came up here to get to it, and now Claypool, hopefully we get quality young men like the 2 that we have on our roster.
Up on the screen here is the results from Notre Dame's Pro Day. You see all players with their height, weight, hand measurements, arm measurements, wingspan, their bench press, vertical jump, broad jump, 40-yard dash there in the third column from the right, shuttle, and 3-cone. We're going to pause this video and let you guys look at this for a few moments. And the last few players here: Ade Ogundeji, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Ben Skronik, Tremble, and Brock Wright. There are their measurements as well. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more content. We appreciate you guys so much.